In my last video, I explained the poem Amanda, in which we have seen that how a mother instructs her child, her daughter Amanda. Amanda is a small girl who had been instructed by her mother in the poem. So in today's video, I am going to summarize the poem. I will also discuss question answer and other exercises of the poem. So let us begin today's session, in which we are going to summarize the poem first. The poem Amanda describes a girl named Amanda and her mother, who is nagging her for her mistakes. She is first pointed out most probably by her mother for biting her nails in the first stanza, as you can see, and for not sitting in the right posture. The mother also feels that Amanda sits in a very lazy manner. To this, Amanda imagines herself as a mermaid who lives a calm and relaxing life in the beautiful green sea. Further, she is nagged for not cleaning her room and shoes, and also for not doing her homework. She then imagines herself to be an orphan because she is now fed up of being watched by her mother. She says that she would have joined her freedom then by making the patterns of her bare feet on the sand and would live a peaceful life. Next, Amanda is scolded by her mother for eating too many chocolates, as this causes pimples. She is also scolded for not listening to her mother. And at this time, Amanda thinks of being Rapunzel, a character from a fairy tale, and wants to live in a huge tower like her. In the tower, she will be alone and will live a peaceful life and will never allow anyone to come in. Finally, the mother asks her to stop being moody because she does not want anyone to blame her for harassing her daughter. At this time, the poet has not written any reaction from Amanda's side. This constant nagging has made her so sad, that she has even stopped to imagine herself as someone else. She used to do so in order to escape from continuous harassment and dominance of her parents. It is all about the poem, in which the poet describes how a mother, or it is not clear that it is mother or father, but most probably she is mother. So this poem depicts how a parent always they keep on nagging on their child, they keep on instructing to their children. So it reveals the situations which you can also relate to you. Sometime your parents also scold you for your study, okay, and they are very much worried about your future. So you can also relate this poem to you. Any child can relate this poem to himself or herself, okay. So in this interesting poem we have seen how every child feels that he is controlled and instructed not to do one thing or another. You too may feel that your freedom is curtailed. So now write down some of the things you want to do, but your parents, elders do not allow you to. So to read the poem aloud from pairs, every reading alternate stanzas, okay. You are in for a surprise. So this is all we have discussed in the poem, and this poem also can be related to the third chapter, his first flight. This poem is just opposite to that story, okay. In that story, Seagull's parents encouraged Seagull to take his first flight, but in this story Amanda's mother keeps instructing her to do the things in right way. So these are two different things. Encouragement is different thing, and nagging is different thing, scolding is different thing. So in that story we have seen Seagull's mother and as well as Seagull's father, they were scolding him to teach a good thing, okay. But in this poem it shows that it's a mental torture of a child, okay. It's a harassment of a child, okay. So now let us discuss question answer and other exercises of the poem. Look at the first question. How do you think Amanda is? How do you know this? How old do you think Amanda is? How do you know this? So students, most probably we can imagine that in this story Amanda's age could be between 10 to 12 years old. We can guess this because of the reference to Mermaid or Rapunzel. These stories are read by children of age group of 8 to 10 or most probably 10 to 12 years. So we can imagine that Amanda's age in this poem is 10 to 12 years. Who do you think is speaking to her? Who do you think is speaking to her? So as we have seen in the poem that it has not been described that to whom Amanda is from whom Amanda is by whom Amanda is being instructed, but we can imagine that she was being instructed by her mother. So how we can write this answer? So one of her parents is speaking to her. We think that probably it could be her mother. We think this because it's a general perception that children are taken care of by their mothers at home. So in this way we can imagine that the instructor was in this poem Amanda's mother, okay. So why are stanzas 2, 4 and 6 given in parenthesis? So why are stanza 2, 4 and 6 given in parenthesis? So you can see parenthesis means within bracket. So why you can see the last this stanza, I am Rapunzel, I have not a care, it is in parenthesis. And I am an orphan, freedom is sweet, it is in parenthesis, and there is a languid drifting blissfully, as you can see. So stanza 2, stanza 4 and stanza 6, they are in parenthesis. So why? What is the reason? Okay, so parenthesis is a remark that is added to a sentence, so often to provide an explanation. In order to give additional information, we add parenthesis. So in stanzas 2, 4 and 6, parenthesis is used to describe the reaction of child Amanda towards a mother's continuous nagging. So that's why parenthesis has been used here. Who is the speaker in stanza 2, 4 and 6? Do you think this speaker listened to the speaker in stanza 1, 3, 5 and 7? The speaker in stanzas 2, 4, 6 is Amanda, as Amanda imagines all the things which have been described in parenthesis. And the next question is, do you think the speaker is listening to do you think the speaker is listening to the speaker in stanza 1, 3, 5 and 7? So as you know, at the end her mother asks us to listen carefully, pay attention to what I am saying. So it shows that no, she is not paying any attention to what her mother says. She is lost in her own thoughts. She imagines herself as a mermaid, an orphan and a Rapunzel. Okay, so that's why she did not pay attention to what her mother said. Next question is, what could Amanda do if she were a mermaid? Yes. Next question is, what could Amanda do if she were a mermaid? So the little girl Amanda wants to be a mermaid, and the only resident of the beautiful green sea. She thinks that her life would be very relaxing in the sea, and she will be taken away with the currents of water. She will be able to enjoy her freedom. So in order to be free, in order to enjoy her freedom, in the poem she wants to be a mermaid. Is Amanda an orphan? Or why does she say so? So no, of course, no, not at all. She is not an orphan, because she has been instructed by her mother. So how you people will be writing this answer? So no, Amanda is not an orphan, and as she is constantly being pointed out by one of her parents in the poem, which is most probably it is her mother. She said so because she is sad and depressed because of the continuous scolding and nagging which she faces because of her parents. Therefore she feels that it would have been much better and peaceful if she would have been an orphan. So she imagines so because she is constantly being pointed out, being scolded by one of her parents, and most probably she was her mother. Okay, look at the 7th question now. Do you know the story of Rapunzel? Why does she want to be Rapunzel? Story of Rapunzel, you must have watched Once I have also showed this story to my son when he was preparing for story competition. He took part in the story competition, and he had to prepare a story. So I showed him the story of Rapunzel, and the story was really a very good story. So the story of Rapunzel is of a girl who is captured by an old witch in a tower. So the old witch climbs up the tower with the help of Rapunzel's very long hair, as Rapunzel was having very long hair, which she lets down of her through a window of the tower. So one day Prince visits her by climbing the tower with the help of long hair. So once also I showed this story in my class also. It was 5th C last year. Okay. So when the witch comes to know this, she separates both of them, but both Rapunzel and Prince meet after a gap, after many years, and then live their life happily. Amanda wants to be Rapunzel because she knew that in the story there was no staircase to enter the tower. It was only possible with the help of Rapunzel's long hair that she would let down to help others to climb. Amanda feels that life in the tower will be very calm and nice, and also makes it a point to never let her hair down for anyone, as she doesn't want to get disturbed by anyone. Okay, so that's why she remembers to be a Rapunzel in the story. And Rapunzel's story you must have heard or watched. Okay, if not, so you can watch it on YouTube. Okay. What does the girl yearn for? What does this poem tell you about Amanda? So what does the girl yearn for? What does this poem tell you about Amanda? So as in this poem, Amanda wants freedom. So the girl Amanda yearns for freedom and peace in her life. She is constantly reminded of her mistakes. Her parents want her to follow the code of conduct of good behavior. They are doing so because they want their child to be well mannered and obedient. But while doing this, they forget that she is a child and should be allowed some freedom. The poet has drawn the reader's attention towards the condition of children who are constantly oppressed by their elders in the name of good behavior. Okay, so in this way I have also told you this story is totally this poem is totally different from the story His First Flight. Okay, read the last stanza. Do you think Amanda is sulking and is moody? So read the last stanza. So do you think it is so? Stop that sulking at once, Amanda. You are always so moody, Amanda. So anyone would think that I nagged at you, Amanda. So what do you think? So in our sense, Amanda is not moody. She feels oppressed because of her mother's constant nagging. She doesn't want to be pointed out for such small things like cleaning the room, sitting straight, cleaning the shoes, completing her homework, etc. She feels that she is not free and she is under a constant pressure of trying to be a well-behaved girl as per her parents' demand. So this is all about the poem. So now let me show you the beautiful story of Rapunzel. Okay, so let me show you the story. Let me play the story on the screen so that all of you will get to know what is the story of a Rapunzel, which has been described in the poem, and Amanda wants to be a Rapunzel. Okay, so I am going to play the story of Rapunzel.
Once upon a time, there lived a man in his lovely house with his beautiful wife. They were soon expecting a little bundle of joy. In front of their house, there was a very huge mansion. Rapunzel herbs grew in the mansion's garden. But no one dared to go there as this mansion belonged to a sorceress named Gothel. One fine morning, the wife was feeling extremely anxious and was unable to eat anything. So in order to get some fresh air, the wife went towards the balcony. Darling, look at that baby.
Indeed, that's an adorable baby.
The wife was completely mesmerized by the baby and the little kids playing around. Soon her gaze fell on fresh and crisp Rapunzel leaves in front of her big mansion. Wow, those Rapunzel leaves look so fresh and crisp. I wish to have those leaves as salad for dinner tonight. When the husband heard his wife's wish, he panicked and tried to convince her against her wish.
My dear wife, those Rapunzel leaves belong to the vile sorceress Gothel. It is impossible to go there.
The husband tried his best to lure his beloved wife with other sweet treats, but the wife was adamant and demanded Rapunzel leaves from him.
Sweetheart, please try to understand.
Please try to understand. I strongly desire those leaves. Unable to see his wife's tears, loving husband agreed to fulfill her wish. Husband approached the sorceress and asked her to lend him some Rapunzel leaves. Oh, how headstrong that sorceress was, for she denied to give him even a single leaf. But the husband was not going to take no for an answer, as he knew how his wife craved those Rapunzel leaves, so he decided to steal those Rapunzel leaves. When it was late in the night, the young man sneaked into the mansion and quickly began to pluck those Rapunzel leaves.
Rapunzel leaves, fresh and crisp, only for my darling wife.
Wife made herself a nice salad from Rapunzel leaves and ate it to her heart's content. How did you dare come into my garden and steal my Rapunzel leaves?
Please, forgive me, Gothel. My pregnant wife saw those leaves and she craved for it desperately.
Listening to the pleading husband, Gothel's mind began to weave a nasty plan. With a wicked smile on her face, she said, "Fine, but in one condition. You must give me your child."
No, I can't do that.
No. Saddened by Gothel's warning, the husband finally agreed to Gothel's demand. The moment their baby was born, the couple tried to flee the town and escape from Gothel.
We need to leave as soon as possible, else Gothel will snatch our baby from us!
No, please don't do this. Gothel carefully looked at the baby and decided a name for her. Rapunzel, that will be your name, for those were the leaves that your mother craved for. Gothel took very good care of the baby as if her own. Years had passed and the little baby grew to be the most beautiful girl under the care of Gothel. Her long hair was as magnificent as spun gold. One day, when Gothel was brushing Rapunzel's beautiful long hair, an old man appeared in their room.
So here you can see that how long hair Rapunzel is having in the story. Okay, so that's why Amanda says that she won't let her hair down to climb anyone in the tower. Okay, so watch the rest part of the story and enjoy.
This old man was a great magician and was, in fact, Gothel's master.
My dear ladies, it is now time for both of you to come and live in my splendid tower.
Gothel told Rapunzel that she needs to go to market. Rapunzel couldn't help but wonder how Gothel was planning to get down from his huge tower. Rapunzel, the very instant I return, I'll shout loud. Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair. Immediately, you must let down your hair for me to climb back to the tower. Okay. Rapunzel would entertain herself by singing beautiful songs for herself as she spent her time alone in the huge tower. Roses are red, violets are blue, sugar is sweet, and so are you.
I wonder who is singing this beautiful song.
Are you?
It looks like the sound is coming from that tower. Hiding behind a tree, Prince was enjoying Rapunzel's song. Suddenly, he saw Gothel calling out, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair. The next day, when Gothel had gone...
So as you have seen how Rapunzel let down her hair, and with the help of her hair the witches used to climb the tower. That's why in the poem Amanda says that she won't let her hair down, so no one could climb the tower. So no one would be disturbing her, and she would be enjoying her peaceful life in the tower. Okay, so watch rest part of the story and enjoy.
Singing a merry tune. Roses are Suddenly she heard a loud voice.
Rapunzel, let down your hair.
As soon as the beautiful tresses cascaded down, Prince held onto it and climbed up the tall tower.
Hey, please do not be scared. Think of me as your good friend. Your melodious voice is what brought me here. Young lady, what keeps you in this tall, mysterious tower?
The tower belongs to a great magician who appointed Gothel as the caretaker of this tower. He also warned her that if she won't take good care of the tower, she would have to face his wrath. Gothel is not my mother. She snatched me from my parents when I was just a little baby. She's been taking care of me and my hair ever since.
Took care of you? But didn't she snatch you from your real parents?
Yes, with the help of my hair, she climbs up and down this tower. That's the reason I'm trapped in this tall tower.
Take my word, my lady. I will rescue you from here.
With a promise to rescue her from the tall tower, Prince climbed down with a smile on his face. Oh, but little did they know that Gothel had seen the prince sneaking out of the tower.
You ungrateful child! I thought I kept you away from the rest of the world. But no, you've betrayed me.
Gothel punished Rapunzel by taking her to a barren desert and abandoned her there so that no one would ever find her. Unaware of what had transpired between Gothel and Rapunzel, the prince visited the tower and called out.
Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair.
But to his horror, Prince was greeted by the dangerous sorceress Gothel.
Here there. I know you come for Rapunzel, but she does not live here anymore.
Gothel pushed the prince from the tall tower, badly injuring him. Yet the brave prince gathered his soldiers and went looking for Rapunzel. The prince looked for Rapunzel throughout the kingdom, in the deserts, fields, and forests. Finally, while traveling through the desert, he heard the song that Rapunzel would sing all the time. The prince and his guards began destroying the tall tower, which Gothel was supposed to take care of. Gothel tried her best to stop the guards from ruining the tower, but it was all in vain. The magician appeared there and could not behold his tower getting destroyed. Boiling with anger, the magician punished Gothel and left the place. The prince reunited Rapunzel with her parents and lived happily ever after.
So I hope you must have enjoyed today's class. Thank you for watching.